American Mary is, imagine that, a Canadian horror film. It was released in 2012, and this movie is a mixed bag for me. Why? Stay a while and listen. Today, we're talking about the American Mary. It's another of my 13 movies to Halloween challenge movies. Well, there's a lot of things to say about it. Let's start with a synopsis. We have Mary Mason. She is played by Catherine Isabelle, whom you may know from the feminist horror film Jesus Snaps from 2000. This time it's directed by women, the Soska sisters. Here she plays Mary Mason. She's a medical student who wants to be a surgeon. However, she has very little money, so she will do anything to get by, and by anything, I mean she goes to apply for a strip club. But while she's there, a man, the owner and his gang were torturing, is about to die. So he offers her $5,000 in order to save his life. And that leads Mary to be approached by a group of body modification people who like to change their body to perform some unorthodox procedures. And yes, by now you start to get the weirdness of this movie. Well, she continues studying, and then something very bad happens to her, and it's not an easy scene to watch. And that pushes her over the edge and gets her more involved with the body modification scene. I really loved the performance by Catherine Isabelle. It's amazing. She manages to look very sexy, and at the same time she's very cold, very detached, and very menacing. She's an anti-heroine. You don't like Mary in this movie. Mary is sort of like the lesser villain in a way for this movie. She's a victim of society and the way it works, and she is in a place of lesser power and lesser influence. And the way the world pushes her leads her over the edge. And that's a very interesting movie. That's a very interesting story. However, I felt like this movie, which is 100 minutes long, really peaks halfway through. I mean, at around the 50 minutes mark, we have the high point of the movie, and then it just goes on. In my opinion, well, it's not bad because the movie has amazing direction. It has a very good visual style. It's very weird, and a lot of creepy stuff happen. I mean, after the movie peaks, it gets weirder. It gets much weirder and uncomfortable. I don't remember it being too graphic, to be honest, but then again, my favorite horror movies is murder, so I'm not the one to speak. But yes, it's an exercise in weirdness after a while, and this may make some people like it because there's this industrial goth club vibe to it after the half mark, and all those people who want to change their bodies in peculiar ways. And of course, we have Mary, which is an amazing anti-heroine. And I think that this movie, if it was better paced, if you, I don't know, probably, if you take this movie and edit it around, you can make an amazing horror movie out of it. But yes, it peaks too fast, in my opinion. I mean, I would like the halfway point to be moved closer to the end, and have what happens after put in between. I won't go into spoilers, of course, but not yet. You know what? I'll go into spoilers, but after I finish the review. So I think that it was a very interesting movie. I really want to watch some other Soska Sisters movie because they have an interesting visual style. They have also a small cameo in this movie, which I found interesting. The protagonist is great, and the performance by the main character is amazing. I really liked Mary, and also I hated Mary. But that's the whole point of it. That's why I like the movie. Because it's not clear cut. She could be an amazing villain in the movie, in my opinion. I would love to see an American Mary sequel where she's the villain. She can make an amazing movie monster. This girl, especially if it's played by Catherine Isabelle, which is amazing in this movie. I I love her performance. I think this elevates the movie. It's a well-made movie, but the performance elevates it to a point where I didn't mind that much about my issues with the pacing. So yes, it's sort of recommend if you're into the weird Marilyn Manson type, 90s Nails type movie, you'll appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing a movie about body modification kinks and this kind of stuff, and that was it for the non-spoiler review. Now let's do some. Let me have the writer and me talk about what didn't work in this movie. About the pacing. So the movie starts with Mary, who is a medical student. She wants to be a surgeon. She's sort of harassed by her professor because she tries to make some ends meet. She is not doing that well in class, but she has no money, which is the point. So she goes to the strip club. She saves the gangster's life. She gets the money. She's approached by Beatrice, a girl looking like a doll, who wants her to do a procedure on one of her friends, who wants to have her body features, like her nipples and her lips. Not those lips, the other lips removed so she can look more like a doll. And she does that. I mean, she's a crack surgeon for some reason, and she kind of loves the modification scene, and actually she can make a lot of money out of it, as she finds out. But she goes into practicing surgery. She's in a surgery practice. She's invited in a house party for other doctors. And there, her professor roofies her and has his way with her. And that's the halfway point. That's the inciting incident. And what happens next is she contacts the strip club owner, and he has his men deliver her professor to her, and she amputates him. And that's the climax of the movie. And then we have another hour where she does various body modification stuff and tries to hide from police. You can see the problem here with the writing. So, what you can do with the script, and that's me as an author talking, so you can ignore me and you can tell me if you agree or not. You can actually have her quit the medical school because of her trauma, or maybe try to contact the police and find out that nobody believes her. And say silence, gaslight, and all those stuff. She can move away from surgery. She can go work as an underground body modification surgeon, get some money this way, and then accept her revenge. On the hour 15 minutes mark, and then have her hide through the police. It's about the same amount of work. It will make her little bot sympathetic, which I'm not sure that's quite the purpose, because I think the whole purpose of this movie is to show this amazingly cold and strong female villain or anti-hero that, when she is Me Too'd, she strikes back immediately. And I guess some people will appreciate that, but I think the pacing was off. I can get why this happens, but after that, there's nothing to go to. There's nothing higher to that. I mean, she had her revenge arc completed immediately, and then she goes, I guess, it goes Heisenberg on people. It's like a Breaking Bad with body modification instead of drugs. And oh my god, thankfully I have a few subscribers. I'm not monetized because this video will be demonetized after all those words. But if you want this video to be demonetized properly, you can always subscribe and help me keep this, monetized in the future and have it demonetized because of keywords, I guess. So, yes, that was my beef with American Mary. I really want to look more into the Saska Sisters movies. I get why this movie is constantly mentioned in lists about horror movies from female directors. It has its flaws, in my opinion, but it's very strong and very stylish. So, have you seen American Mary? Do you agree with my suggestions, or do you think I'm just some scrub who knows nothing? And if you believe that, you can always write in the comments. I'll appreciate that. And if you like this video and videos like that, where we talk about movies, about horror movies, we'll also talk about sci-fi movies and fantasy movies and horror movies and books. And we'll try to do some critical approach to look at it as myself as a writer would look at, and tell you his opinion about this movie, then yes, you can press the subscribe button, and I'll see you again with another video. Thank you very much.